Island Hoppers. It's a parcel, king of the VI, crown me. It's all about the culture shock of my family. We're in the VI live and direct. Yeah, man.
Welcome to Island Hoppers.
We know of at least 3 virgins in the Caribbean, and we're standing on one of them, the island of St. Croix.
St. Croix is part of the U.S. Virgin Islands and is rich in culture, music, and waves.
All of that and more coming up next on Island Hoppers.
Pieces of fire, pieces of fire. Pieces of fire, pieces of fire.
Ames Joseph, our driver, he drove us around the whole time on St. Croix, and we're driving, leaving the airport after we got our bags, and I called the one person I knew, Troy Brown. He happened to be on the radio.
WSTX FM 100, the Virgin Islands Reggae Authority. Big shouts out to Lance, Rob, Nick, and Alexi of Island Hoppers Television. They're doing some island hopping right now throughout the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
You know, the vibe was just really good right from the get-go on St. Croix.
I'm out of here. I'm checking the waves. He doesn't wait for us. That's all right, bro. He's gonna scope it out and see if we got surf behind the hotel, because that would be so key.
Yeah, I think over there it kind of closed out right there. Down to the left a little bit.
Bay, man, we're good.
Got the channel. It's all roped off.
Surf up top.
Up top, down the middle, other side of the bay, whatever. It's all good.
I'm sick of small chat about the weather. I'm sick of waiting for a bright day. I wanna float like a feather and let this breeze blow me away to a place where the water's sweet. It's safe in the shallow and the deep, where we can let these problems sleep forever and ever and ever. Hey, Federic, I know you like your reggae sweet. Hey, Federic, ooh girl, I know a spot where the reggae sweet.
It was fun. It's fun. First day, St. Croix. Gotta love it. Little wind chop, about chest to head high. Fun break. Hopefully high tide will be good tomorrow.
I'm too cold up here, I'm too tense. Me want feel that sunbeat when me walk down my street. So me gone book my seat straight.
I made the mistake of missing the channel, and there I stood up on the rocks, and there was black urchins everywhere. It looked like, I mean, there was more black than sand. It was incredible. So I bottomed out, scraped my board on the bottom. Did you?
A little bit.
Little? Yours is good though.
Yeah, carbon fiber. Gotta love it. The first morning, we went looking for some waves. Going up this hill, we look over and all you just see is these lines just wrapping around this point, and man, it was a very beautiful sight. What? Oh! That's the wave right there.
And everybody is freaking out, screaming, oh my God, oh my God. They couldn't get down the hill fast enough. The drivers were like, go, go, go.
Some thick bush. Oh, we're trotting.
I love it. also decided to paddle out around this point, and where we paddled out was pretty rocky. We're paddling out, Lance's going towards the wave, and I'm like, man, we're not far enough out, and a big bomb set came, and I got a lip right in front of me. I wanted to see how hard it'd throw, and I just wanted to catch a wave. It closed out, stomped through the bottom of the wave. I was thinking my leash might break because my luck is that bad, but it didn't. Everything was good.
A lot of water moving through, you know. I mean, the good part is it's a point break, so there's like a long ways, but there's a lot of paddling.
I just had respect and got more respect for you guys for going out there, because it was way outside and way overhead and so gnarly.
Don't go away.
More St. Croix coming right up.
The whole St. Croix trip was done in conjunction with the Department of Tourism. We had a liaison that was basically helping us and coordinating a lot of the stuff for us. A gentleman by the name of Brad. And
guys, where we are right now, we're in the government house. Actually, it's called the Government House Mansion, and it's a great place to be just because it's the building is over 200 years old. There's so much history here. It was built by the Kingdom of Denmark. Actually, the center part was built first, and they kind of built it out.
That's the governor's sleeping quarters, and that's the original sleeping quarters for the Danish, the king that was here. And they kept it the original. All the rooms, all the kitchen, everything is kept original.
Oh yeah. How many times has that been done?
91 years ago, just before World War I, Woodrow Wilson and the King of Denmark worked out an agreement to have the Danish West Indies, which is what the U.S. Virgin Islands was called at that time, transferred over to the United States. It was done for strategic purposes. Woodrow Wilson realized that if Denmark fell to Germany, that Denmark and all their possessions would belong to Germany, and that would make their southern flank, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, all vulnerable to an invasion. So they bought up the U.S. Virgin Islands for $25 million, and we've been proud Americans since.
And after we chronic cruised around downtown Christiansted, we went over to Hotel on the Key. Now, this was literally a 60-second boat ride.
I was gonna swim, but they wouldn't let me.
It's so close, it's right there.
This is something a place where all the locals come to. Of course, it's a hotel, and it's a great hotel, and we have a lot of people that come here. But this is something, as you can see by just looking at the beach, this is where all the little kids come and hang out. This is like almost the first beach that you go to. You can come, you can have some hamburgers, French fries, and you can come out with your family and have a good time.
So nice, so clear. You can open your eyes underwater and see so perfectly.
Well, we're at Protestant Key right now on the beach. It's pretty hot out here, so we came down and jumped in for a little swim.
Rastafari, you have to keep it, calm. Jah will never go nowhere. As long as you live, Jah will always be there.
So then that night, we ended up going over to the other side of the island, to Frederiksted. We went to a place called the Blue Moon. There we met up with Kathleen McManus. She works at probably the most popular radio station on St. Croix called Aisle 95.
Music, I've always been involved with music. Music has been my motivation to live. I've often said without music on the planet, you can just slice it because I don't care.
We talked to her about the depths of the music and kind of the history behind the music here on St. Croix.
The amount of cultures here from throughout the Caribbean is astounding. I don't know of any other Caribbean island that has as much diversity per capita as this place does.
This is the Eddie Russell Quilbe Latin Jazz Band. We play a fusion of Caribbean and American sounds. We're mixing reggae, Latin, calypso, and American jazz, blues, R&B, rhythm and blues. So it's coming out quite interesting. I had an opportunity to play on the same stage with Bob Marley. At Madison Square Garden it was, and I was playing with a group from Jamaica called the Blues Busters.
Yeah, we hooked up with a local surfer, a native, a Crucian by the name of Paul, and he kind of introduced us to the whole surf scene on St. Croix.
You don't get a lot of travelers coming through. That's one thing I noticed. Like Puerto Rico, you get a lot of people go visit. A lot of people go visit the BVI because there's more of a name to it. They get a lot of winter swell, the northwest swell coming through. We get blocked from the north swell and the northwest, so we got to pick our days when it's coming. When it's on in St. Croix, it's on, you know. It gets big, gets powerful, it gets good. It's just pretty inconsistent.
There's probably about 30 surfers on the island, you know, but most of them all do something else besides surf. They're kite surfers, windsurfers, sailors, divers, because the surfing here takes a back seat to all the other water sports, because most of the time the conditions are on the north shore here, all side shore wind, you know, and the northern islands block us from getting the big northwest swells.
I really enjoyed that like middle to outside part kind of in the bay. Oh man, it just was just the way it'd wall up and the color of the water, nobody being out was just beautiful.
A lot of paddling, man. I felt like I paddled for 3 hours. A lot of fun though, good right, lines up.
It's been a long time since I've ridden a right that good.
I found everything I need, no, it's here to stay.
Got to go to the Whim Plantation. Very, very cool, very peaceful. It was very quiet when we were there.
And one of our better sights to see when you're talking about the culture and heritage of the island of St. Croix.
This estate was first surveyed in the mid-1700s by the Danes when Denmark took over the island. And it was used primarily solely for sugar production, to produce molasses, to produce rum.
like we're on to something.
Give me some WD-40, we'll get some sugar cane.
One of the main distinctions of the Whim Plantation is the windmill actually has its pedals, which is one of the few on the island.
The paddles were used to catch the wind, and the wind helped enable the gears inside and the rollers to move so that when the laborers would be bringing the sugar cane is fed into the rollers and out comes the sugar cane juice.
Let your light shine. Let your light shine.
St. George's Botanical Garden in St. Croix.
The St. George Village Botanical Garden is a 16-acre garden that aspires to tell the complete human history of the island of St. Croix. We can document 2,000 years of continuous occupation. This particular part of the workers' village overlaps a pre-Columbian site that was established about 100 AD and occupied till about 1000 AD.
There's so much history there. They say when it rains, sometimes the old pottery comes out of the ground.
The people that lived on this site actually predate the Taino Indian nation that this region is known for.
Hey, so what's up with that painkiller tree? My arm's kind of hurt.
The older residents in the Virgin Islands, they know this tree is painkiller. Another name for it is also starvation apple, because the fruit, when it's ripe, is edible, and there's actually an overripe one laying there on the ground. It is edible, and it's actually quite nutritious. The problem is the weeds. Smell that.
Oh, dude, you're kidding me. Yeah.
It smells a lot like bad cheese.
Oh, that's not good.
And because
it stinks so bad.
It was considered a last resort, and so another name for it is starvation apple.
Does it taste how it smells like it smells?
I have never been bold enough to try that fruit.
That stinks.
I'll do it. I already feel my arms feeling better.
Well, this is Daniel, and you're in tune to Island Hoppers. Ever since the days of old, life remains unchangeable, yeah, yeah, yo. Rastafari.
So we got word that there was another break closer to our hotel, so we decided to hike down.
So we're surfing, I don't even know the name of the break, but you know, it was further down from the palms, and this kid Greg just turned out to be really cool. And I mean, like, he was a really nice guy, was talking to us a lot, telling us, kind of giving us the inside scoop and everything.
Man, you know, a lot of guys pay attention to the weather, directions and all of that. I kind of wake up and just bust it. Wherever it looks good, I go out, try and tear up. Even today, you know, it's all mushy and stuff, but we found little sections and stuff, so. Yeah.
The vibe to me was just great. The people, super nice, super down to earth, really friendly, very open, and you know, always kind of like accommodating. And I really think that adds to the flavor of St. Croix to really help it make a special place that somebody and everybody needs to pay a visit at least once in their life. If you visit America's Caribbean, make sure you check out St. Croix.
Thanks to the many friends, especially the Department of Tourism, who really made St. Croix a special episode.
And thanks for watching Island Hoppers.
How can you live up whole and you're living in a strange land, having visions of hope, fertility since creation? How can you dwell in a row after all them desecration? One nation as a whole await repatriation. Enough of them go about the face when Rasta name man.
when Rasta name a call. Truly amazing, yeah, Rastafari, truly